If you've ever felt like you've been pretending, then I believe that this is for you. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Today, we're going to be exploring the idea of ourselves and some of the things that we do knowingly or unknowingly. But before I do that, how have you been today? And I hope you've had a good day. I hope that as you try to relax, you've taken the time to unburden yourself of whatever stress the day may have brought. I hope that you've been able to do that in the way that you know best. For some people, they'll take a cup of tea, they'll eat some of their favorite snacks. Obviously, you need to be careful because of the waistline. Or you go for a walk with nature. Whichever one you've done or you've done, I hope that is helping as you listen to me this evening. A lot of us always think that the people that perform in lives are trained actors or musicians because they take the time to go through scripts and they do this for lengthy periods of time because they're paid to do this. But how about if I say this, that we all perform one way or the other, and our performance tends to be based on the situation and the occasion. I want to title this The Mask We Wear. I remember listening to someone say or quote a psychologist, Carl Jung, that we all think that we don't need a mask, when in actual fact, we do. But why is this important? It is important because for some of us, we are or have certain personalities that we believe fits into certain boxes and occasions and situations. And when we are placed in a place of discomfort, or rather we feel uncomfortable, we feel lost. And this is where the mask comes in. If you're an introvert and you're not too much of a people person, the only way to fit in, you believe, be to take on a different personality. One that is a chatterbox. Because you can't, for any reason, allow anybody else to see you as weird or uncool. So you need to fit in. And you chat away with everyone. And you get comments as, oh, they're so nice. They're so helpful. They're so chatty. They're so comfortable within themselves. But in your head, you're thinking, who are they talking about? It can't possibly be me because that's not my personality. For some guys, you feel you need to fit in with the brothers or the gang. So they're drinking, you go drink. They're talking about Girls, you go talk about girls. They're talking about how the struggles that they're having. You're like, ooh, I don't know if I want to talk about that. But I've got to come across as though I know exactly what it is that they're going through. And at this time, what you find is that you're taking on a different personality, one that is not a true depiction of who you are. You see this as well when you are meeting someone for the first time and you want to show them your best side of you being gentle, caring, attentive, and a great listener. But as time goes on, the things that you demonstrated that were the things that people fell for turns out not to be the true person. The person that would always text in the morning, the person that would always look forward to that message in the morning or that phone call in the morning. The things that first looked cool now becomes annoying because these weren't the things that were your true identity. The when, like the person that would show off with all the money when in real fact they don't really have any. They don't have any money. And they'd borrowed their money that they've used to impress, to create this fake identity that when the reality hits, you've got no idea of how to bring this true you out. Because in our head, we've always said that you can't possibly like the true me because the true me is boring. The true me is not as interesting. The true me is one that doesn't get any attention. So I need to create all of this other persona because that's who people like. The thing there is, on the one hand, whilst it's not great, you can see why people do it. People do it because of the pressures of society. You've got to look bad, society says, because looking bad is what people are interested in. You can't be too nice because if you're too nice, nice guys or nice people get left behind. You've got to make sure that you've got your stuff together. You've got to be earning millions because if you're not earning millions, nobody's interested in hearing what you're saying. That's what society says. You've got to make sure that you're the most vocal when you're out there because the loudest people are the ones that people listen to. That's what society says. You got to be the loudest, not vocally, but also in the way you present yourself. Because the most loudest appearance are the ones people pay attention to. They seem serious. That's what society says. But isn't it interesting that when you come across the people that have got all of these things together, when it comes to wealth and all of the other all of the other financial comfort, they don't seem to always dress like the other end of society. They don't always go around with the flashy cars, the flashy necklace, the flashy watches, and all of that. Why is that? Because that's not what defines the person. They go around with just t-shirts, sometimes wear the same t-shirt. They've got a number of one color that they just wear again and again and again and again. Because after a while, you realize that the most important things in life are not the things that you've acquired through wealth, but they are the things that you've actually got around you. So is having a persona important? Of course it is. Because there are certain times where it becomes useful and beneficial. There's certain times where you need to be able to break free of whatever struggle that you're going through. You need to be able to be tough when you're feeling low. You need to be able to feel strong when you're feeling weak. In times of great difficulty, you need that persona that would make you and remind you of yourself that I'm not always this down. There have been a time where I was stronger than this. I haven't quite got it together right now. I know I need to get it together. For now, I'm just going to try my best to keep presenting that I'm okay. The reason you need to do this sometimes is because not every person is interested in what you've got to say. And it's about knowing the people that you can go to when the chips are down and you really need a shoulder to cry on. Some people will use it against you when they see you as weak or they see you as being down and they insult you and call you names. What that does is that it breaks you further. But by presenting as though I've got my stuff together, you're able to circumvent that potential trauma that you could go through with these individuals, which you've already identified as the ones that are not people you want to talk to. And I say this because I had experience of working with a mother. I'll talk about it in a different video. Who, as a mom, she struggled. But as a boss, she was a whole different human being. As a boss, she was in charge. She was somebody that took no nonsense and ran a company. And people looked up to her. And she would say, I don't understand how I can be in charge of a company of men, women, and not have a problem, but then come home and my 5-year-old, I can't control her. I am I'm scared of my 5-year-old. These personas are useful. This mask are useful for different places. But like Carl Jung says, they're useful for a short time. The problem is when you wear it for too long, you lose sense of your true identity. You become confused of who you really are. And you become a copy of something else. When the true and authentic you lays dormant and never to be experienced and enjoyed by the world and environment you reside in. We have a role to play, I believe, either on a micro level or on a macro level. But the only way we can do that is by being true to who we are. Being in touch with that person. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know about, or rather, let us know about your experience of times where you felt you needed a mask and how having to wear this mask all the time is either helping or hindering. And all of us can learn from this. It is not a criticism of anyone. Instead, I think it's about genuine strength. When we can own it and admit to ourselves that in this situation, I haven't felt comfortable being myself, and this is why. But am I going to do things differently? And this is why. Let us know in the comment section below. Until next time, people, you make sure you look after yourself. But most importantly, you sleep tight. It has been Kings. Peace. Bye for now.